What's up, guys? Ncaa31 here, bringing you something a little unique. I'm bringing you a game from someone on my friends list, a guy who I play on Online Dynasty. And as usual, the guys on my friends list and the guys who are on or in the Online Dynasties that I participate in are straight, legitimate, very good players. This guy has well over 1,000 skill points, ranked in the top 500 or so, legitimate player. I have right around exactly 1,000 skill points. I'm no slouch as well. And we are playing the Army-Navy game. I'm going through Navy's roster here. I'm running a custom Wishbone playbook. He's running Army's default playbook. We're at the link playing America's game. Would be cool to see the Corps of Cadets in the audience, but alas, we can't have everything. And I'm sitting here, speaking of the Wishbone and the Flexbone offense, I am watching USC Georgia Tech and watching USC do exactly what I was rooting for, hoping for, praying for, and that is sleepwalking through the game.
He's to the 10. He's tackled at the 18.
The biggest part about some of these bowl games, when you have a power team in some of these lesser bowl games, is whether or not the team wants to be there. And as Georgia Tech goes up 14-7 in the third quarter, it looks like USC does not want to be there. Wait, did they just fumble on the goal line? Let me see what's happening here. It looks like I thought they had a touchdown before. No, it's a touchdown. Georgia Tech's about to go up 14-7 on the old QB sneak.
Runs right for a nice gain.
They ran a good QB power, or QB sweep rather, to get to the 1 yard line. I thought these actually scored the play before. As a USC defender, looked like a midline, because the USC defender flew over the pile to tackle the halfback. But anyway, Georgia Tech is up 14-7. And I hope everyone has a very happy, joyous, and safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. If you're going to be doing the party thing, you know, wake up in one piece. Try not to wake up next to somebody who you did not intend to wake up next to. Stay out of the clink. Don't blow off any limbs. Me, I'm going to chill. I'm going to watch LSU Clemson and spend New Year's Day with my family. Have a little get-together.
He's tackled at the 5-yard line.
Have our traditional New Year's Day meal, and then spend the rest of the day watching college football. I'm not much of a partier anymore. Back in my younger days, I did the, you know, New York City Times Square thing back when I lived in New York City.
The kick is up.
But I'm a little bit older and a whole lot wiser these days, and now I just kind of chill with the family and ring in the new year low-key.
At the 40.
So anyhow,
the 10.
Now that I have set the scene as far as what game I'm watching here, and you see the Wishbone fullback QB option go for a touchdown,
He delivers.
I'm going to do a little bit of a preview of some of the January 1st games.
Big game there for the
January 1st used to be the day where you had all the bowl games, but now with the era of the BCS,
makes it to the 34.
We're going to have the BCS bowl games pretty much staggered out. So let's first start out with the game tonight, LSU Clemson.
Tackle made.
I'm usually pretty hard on Clemson, but Clemson has kind of grown on me as the year has gone on.
Option here.
Really like their offense. Their defense is, you know, nothing to write home about. LSU, of course, the offensively challenged LSU Tigers with the Mad Hatter.
They'll get the ball here.
Wasting an NFL caliber defense. Will take on that Clemson high octane spread no huddle. And I'm going to go with Clemson. I like how Taj Boyd has added a new dimension to his game. He's just as efficient throwing the football as he's been, but he's now added more of a dual threat to his game. He's got about 400 yards rushing this season, a little bit over 400 yards rushing this season. He lost some weight. He's a little bit more nimble and agile, and I believe they're going to have enough answers to score enough against LSU, and I don't think LSU is going to be able to keep up. So I like Clemson in that one. Let's go to New Year's Day.
Gets out to around the 48.
This game was such a fun game to play.
And they hit him in the backfield.
Probably the funnest game that I've played of this game this year, since it's been out. I mean, how often do you see two people playing this style of offense? You don't see it very often. You see spread. You see, you know, money play, custom playbooks.
Gives it left side.
But here we are, we're both running traditional offenses. A lot of fun. It's really a blast to play, and the Wishbone playbook here is, I think, pretty darn good once we got rid of the plays that are guaranteed to go backwards and don't do things like that. That was one of those ideas that, you know, looked like it would be a good idea, but ended up not being one. And I'm running the 3-3-5 stack with Navy. They have pretty good safeties, so I figure, why waste them? And he's running, I believe he's running a 3-4. So, you have everything that you could want here in an Army-Navy game. He's passing a little bit more out of the flex zone, while I'm, you know, running a more traditional, run exclusive, Wishbone offense. But going back to the January 1st here, January 1st bowl games here.
This quarterback is tough.
Mississippi State Northwestern. I'm going to go with Mississippi State for that game. I haven't seen Northwestern play that much this year. Mississippi State has a pretty solid team. Dan Malinois does a good job. Always has his team prepared to play. Don't see it being any different here. Michigan, South Carolina. I'm rooting for Jadeveon Clowney to punch Denard Robinson in the mouth early, often, and hopefully very, very hard. I like the SEC in that game as well. I like the SEC in Georgia-Nebraska as well, the Capital One game. As much a fan of Taylor Martinez as I've been through the years, I gotta go with Georgia in that one. When in doubt, go with the SEC team. You can't go wrong if you're a gambling degenerate. Wisconsin, Stanford. I have a weird feeling about this game. I have a weird feeling that Wisconsin's going to show up and make this a game, even though, you know, logic would dictate that it has no business being one because Wisconsin's not that good. I have no idea how Nebraska laid an egg in that game, but, you know, there you have it. It gives us a good, you know, Capital One game, but it gives us a Rose Bowl matchup.
You got to give each of the.
But I think Wisconsin's going to play better. I think they're going to lose, but I think they're going to, you know, give a better effort than people think. And then we have the Orange Bowl, Northern Illinois versus Florida State. For those of you who haven't seen Northern Illinois play or don't know much about them, they have one of the more unique players that you'll see. Their quarterback, Jordan Lynch. He's basically their entire offense. Now, you know, it goes without saying that obviously a quarterback is going to be a pretty key part of their offense, but in this particular case, he is their offense. You know, this is a guy who's thrown for 24 TDs, only 5 INTs, has passed for close to 3,000 yards, but he also has 1,700 yards rushing and 19 touchdowns. And just to give you an idea of how much he dominates the offense, their next two leading rushers have 453 yards and 432 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, and 5. So, you know, as Jordan Lynch goes, so goes Northern Illinois.
That could be
And
a check with me right there.
I kind of like his swagger and how he's been not afraid to shoot his mouth off and, you know, talk about how they're going to punch Florida State in the mouth and, you know, wear him out. But their doors are to Illinois. I mean, FSU has multiple NFL caliber draft picks on their defensive line in their front seven. Athletically, they should be able to, you know, take away one guy and force the rest of the team to beat them. And that's if Florida State shows up. If Florida State throws a USC, as USC is still down 14-7 with the ball, you know, plenty of time in the game. There's about 12 minutes left in the third quarter. But if Florida State doesn't show up, or if they take these guys lightly, you know, Jordan Lynch can put on a show. But you know, I'm going to think logically with this one, and I'm going to pick the Seminoles because I just don't think Northern Illinois is going to be able to match Florida State's defensive athleticism and be able to stop them enough. I mean, E.J. Manuel's not the second coming of Cam Newton anytime soon. And Florida State doesn't really run that style of offense. They run a pretty much a multiple style offense. But E.J. Manuel isn't a great player by any stretch, but I believe he's good enough and he has enough of a supporting cast to take care of business. So
he might be playing a cat and mouse game here with the defense.
On paper, not a good matchup, but I think it could be interesting depending if Florida State shows up and takes them seriously. What else do we have New Year's Day that's interesting? Let's take a look, see.
They go with the option.
Iowa State Tulsa's a good game. That game's going on right now, actually. Purdue, Oklahoma State, who cares?
Looks like an option here.
Unless you're a Purdue fan, of course. I know a couple of you are.
And he hits him hard at the 9-yard line.
And then we have Wednesday, their next BCS game, the Sugar Bowl, Louisville, Florida. I have no idea.
Last chance. They
No
need
clue.
a big play here.
And when in doubt, follow the rule, go with the SEC, so I'm going to go with Florida.
And that gives them the lead.
Oregon, K-State, going to go Oregon there. Oregon has too much firepower. I don't believe K-State's going to be able to keep up.
Just picked off.
As good as Colin Klein is, I don't think. As good a coach as Bill Schneider is,
Bring him down around the 20.
don't think they have enough. Texas A&M, Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl as a game I'm really looking forward to seeing. That has the makings of a high-scoring affair, and I'm going to go with Oklahoma. Heisman Trophy winners, they usually don't fare well in bowl games. They're usually, you know, partying up pretty nicely. And I expect Landry Jones to show up, play well, and go out on a winning note and give Bob Stoops yet another 11-win season without winning anything. Pittsburgh, Ole Miss, who cares?
So what are your final thoughts on this one, Kirk?
They've talked about the
K-State, Arkansas State's actually a pretty good game.
We saw the intensity
Pretty good game in that one.
every play, and it showed us why these
I'm going to go
teams
with
love to
K-State
hate
there,
each other.
and
It'll
I'll
be
save
interesting
my
to see how this game carries over to the next
BCS
time
game
they play.
breakdown, even though you know who I'm going to pick to win. I'm going to save that till later. So I'll talk to you all later. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. It was a blast to play. A lot of fun to play. This guy's a really good player. And I came up a little bit short. But what can you do? You're not going to win them all.
And for winning today's player of the game,
love to hear
EA
your
Sports
guys' thoughts on
will
the
make a
bowl game.
$10,000 donation in
Be
his
safe
name
this New
to
Year's
the
Eve
school's
night.
General
Enjoy your
Scholarship
New
Fund.
Year's Day. And I'll talk to you all later. Peace.
I want to thank you for being with us for another game of NCAA Football 13. For my partners, Reese